Alright then, good morning everyone as we head into European trade on Tuesday the 9th of April. Not really a great deal for us to go off. Relatively choppy day yesterday and a choppy morning. This morning probably likely to continue until we get inflation out tomorrow. I mean, we obviously spoke a bit yesterday about inflation, so I'm not gonna break that down in much detail on this session. I mean, Asian stocks rise, metals fly, and manufacturing bets again, keeping an eye on metals, keeping an eye on commodities in general. Obviously oil and stuff isn't a metal, but oil, if bets continue to rise on positivity surrounding manufacturing globally. I mean, we obviously saw the US and China doing pretty well for themselves yesterday, or not yesterday, last week should I say. That kind of seems to have filtered its way through into this week's markets. Yen feels the heat as US Treasury yields rise. It's all stuff we were just talking about in yesterday's video. Obviously opinions don't or shouldn't change day to day. Obviously, unless something actually happens to change your opinion, but it shouldn't be flip-flopping on your opinions day to day unless something legitimate actually comes in to change your opinion. But look at markets and across the board, Asian stocks higher as we've said, but that really hasn't had the follow through across the US equity futures, across European equity futures, which you can see this month today is red. It's kind of been blue the last pretty much every single time I've looked at it over the last 6 months. But this grid showing a bit of negativity for stock index certainly over the course of this month so far. Kind of likely to do with the fact that people are kind of waking up to the fact we're not going to get all these cuts from the Fed. Commodities relatively mixed. You can see them a bit all over the place. Bond yields down across the board. That's just choppy though. I wouldn't read too much into that for now. With that being choppy, you can see the US dollar is just all over the place. Some up, some down. The ones that are up are not up by that much. The ones that are down are not down by that much. You can see your Aussie some weak economic data over the course of this morning. Negative consumer confidence figures. Again, just kind of not too much really to go off there with that. I mean, it's no surprise that people slightly struggling for confidence going forward with the way the cost of living is. Obviously, wages not rising in line with that cost of living, so people struggling for cash. Well, that is not a Australian problem. That is a global problem, and there's not much we can do about that. I suppose you just kind of got to suck it up. Inflation's back within 2 to 3%, which is great, but as 2 to 3% higher than the 5%, 6% it was last year, or than the 8% it was the year before, and the 5% before that, which is like 20-25% cumulative inflation in the past kind of 3 years. But governments don't want to tell you that. They just want to tell you they're back within their 2 to 3% target range and then take credit for it when it's not even their thing to take credit for anyway. It is the central banks, but that's just the way politics work, and why the people need to do more research into what actually goes on. But anyways, I'm going a bit off topic. It's not really a conversation for a video like this, I don't think. But it's no surprise when it comes to that, which you can see across here. Westpac consumer confidence change minus 1.8% previous month, minus 2.4 again this month. Consumer confidence index, business confidence, you can have a look at these figures, but that's the kind of main one. Consumer confidence change from Westpac, that is negative, and you can see over the course of today there's not really a lot we have to go off. I don't know what Mexican data on this, but if you're a trader of the Mexican peso, you got inflation out today. Maybe that's something worth taking a look at, because there's really not a lot to go off. No speeches, no major economic data, all just got to sit and wait for tomorrow. It should be a pretty interesting day tomorrow. You've also got US inflation. You got US inflation, Bank of Canada tomorrow, which are the two main data points certainly for me for the week. Probably the two most tradable data points for me for the week. I broke that down in yesterday's video. Some Russian inflation. I always keep the Russian economic data on this just out of interest, but it's main focus of attention tomorrow. And into Thursday, you got the ECB, PPI, and you have some figures out on Friday, but we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. Tomorrow, main economic data prints of the week. Today, not likely to produce much in the way of direction until we get that. You can see the US dollar, bit of weakness yesterday, kind of in line with yields, kind of chopping sideways, but not really too much to see there. I mean, it's 20 odd pips lower on the US dollar, and that is looking this morning as if it wants to give those gains back, or losses back, should I say. Gains across your dollar block, your Aussie, Kiwi, Euro, Sterling grinding higher yesterday. Dollar Swiss, dollar CAD, bit all over the place. Dollar yen continues to push higher. Now it looks like the market wants to make an attempt at that 152 level. You can see level yesterday. We're looking at that on yesterday's video. It did pop lower, kind of 30 pips off it. I do, on a personal level, I do want it to get above 152 and see what happens. Do the Bank of Japan go and intervene? Or have they moved the goalpost, and is that level now 155 again? That remains to be seen, but we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it, if and when we get above there. But we're pretty close to it again. We're only two or three pips away from it as of now. Super quiet markets up here. Not much to see really in terms of movement, but okay, we'll keep an eye on it. If it does pop its head above 152, commodities continue to rise. You can see oil filled that gap which we were looking at, but oil, gold continue to push higher. You know, your stock index, as you can see, sorry, I'll go back to this before we get on to that. Stock index is just all over the place. You can see the dollar, the dollar indexes, then European indexes is just markets lying in wait for tomorrow, isn't it? Yields bit all over the place, no clear direction across that. Obviously stocks we talked about. Bitcoin continues its trend higher. Attempted to get back up towards that 74,000 level, but ultimately failed again. But it's just making higher lows and higher lows and higher highs, should I say. Oil and gold continue to push higher in line with commodities. Silver grinding its way higher in line with commodities, but I'm just kind of talking through these markets as what's up, what's down. Looking for direction over the course of this week. That comes from yesterday's video. Opinion hasn't changed. Not likely to be doing much today, I don't think, looking or judging off the way the markets are shaping up. So I recommend probably keeping your money in your pocket on a morning like this. No point losing a few percent till you get into the actual action of the week a little bit later on. So if you find any tradable opportunities, obviously go for it, but as of yet I don't think there's much materialising for today, and probably not till we get inflation tomorrow.